coming up for some time together? And there's some others going to join you. Good. I'm going to sit here. And you're going to sit next to me. Thank you. I like your hair too. Could you do that to mine? Miracles can happen. So, there are some big changes happening here. Like what?
It was winter, but now it's spring.
That's a great change, isn't it? That's right. And one of the big changes that's happening is that Jim isn't here. And he isn't going to be here for quite a long while. So I'm going to be here. Do you know where Jim is?
He's on a holiday.
Well, he's on kind of a holiday. He's going to take some time for a holiday, but he's also going to study, and he's going to do some writing, and he's going to compose some music, and he's going to be busy too. And then he's going to go on a pilgrimage. So he's got lots of things he's going to do while he's away, and we're going to be here without him. And there's going to be some changes here too. For one change, I don't have that box like he does that sits in the corner. So we aren't going to have that box for a while. What does he call that box?
I think he calls it the story box.
Oh, the story box. Agnes and Winnie last week said that it was filled with cities and towns and houses that kept on falling over. And I thought maybe we should call it the earthquake box. So we're not going to have that. And another big change is that Jim usually sits on his knees back there, right? And you gather around him. Well, you know, if I tried that, you wouldn't be able to go off to church school because you'd all have to try and help me get back up on my feet again because it would be hard. So I'm going to sit here because I think I can get up okay from here. I think. Yeah, hang around for just a minute and see.
If you think it doesn't mean you can.
Don't I know that? So do you remember what Jim was talking about last week? What happened last week when Jim was telling the story?
Jesus died and came back alive.
Jesus died, and then where did they put him?
In heaven.
Well, not in heaven that time. They put him in a tomb. It was a big sort of cave in the hillside, and they put him in the tomb, and they put the stone in front of the tomb, and then the next day they came back, and he wasn't there. The stone was rolled away, and the tomb was empty. And that was the story for last week. And Mark told that story, and his story ended there. But I wanted to tell another kind of story because one of the other storytellers about Jesus' life, John, he added a little bit more to the story. And he said that the disciples were really frightened because they were frightened of the men and women who had condemned Jesus to death, and they were afraid that they would that would happen to them too. So they were in a room like this, but they had all the doors locked and barred, so nobody could get in, and they put shutters over the windows so nobody could see in. So they were all in this room, and they were really frightened. And then suddenly, there was a man standing right there who hadn't been there before. What would you think if that happened here? I don't know. Where did you come from? They might ask that question. I think they'd just be surprised at first, wouldn't they? How did he get here? Who was he? And then he said, "Peace be with you." And they knew that it was Jesus who was there. Suddenly, he just appeared right there in the midst of the room. And they were all excited, and everybody said, "Wow, this is great." And then later on that day, Thomas came. He was one of the disciples who wasn't there, and they said, "Jesus is here. Jesus is here. We saw him." And Thomas said, "You didn't see Jesus. You just saw a ghost or you had a dream and you thought you saw Jesus. And they said, no, 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 no. It was really Jesus and he was really here. And Thomas says, well, I'm not going to believe it until I see him and I touch him and I know it's really Jesus. And suddenly, there he was. And he reached out his hand and he said, hello, Thomas. And he shook Thomas's hand. And Thomas knew that he was really there too. And there were all sorts of stories about that. What would you think if that happened? I don't know. Yeah, you wouldn't know what to think, would you? So, that's what happened to them.
Maybe they would think about pickles.
Pickles? Why would they think about pickles?
So then it would remind them to eat pickles.
Okay. You like pickles? Ah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I don't think we got any pickles today, though, do we? Oh, well. Oh, well. You'll just have to wait till you get home to have some pickles.
Well, I don't even have a jar of pickles.
Oh, well. This is a way to tell your mom that it's time to buy some pickles. It's a smart move. Does anyone else have some? Good for you. Anyway, that's the end of John's story that we have for today. Jesus was there with the disciples, and then Jesus was there with Thompson. People kept on seeing him. You know, sometimes that happens today. People who have lost a loved one, sometimes they see them there too. But they're not frightened. I've never heard of anybody who's frightened, because when they see them, they know it's somebody that they loved who still is there with them in some way, and that's really important for them. So that's the story we're going to deal with today. And it looks like Michelle's getting ready for you to go off to church school, so we're going to sing while you go.